This is Howard White, and yes, I'm here live with Karen Quick, one of the presenters, one of the trainers, and one of the teachers. See, I like to put it all in together. PTT, that's right. Trainers and teachers, presenters, trainers, and teachers, because that's what we've asked all of our Pivot Posse partners to do. Karen, how are you doing this evening? And just as we go through this season here, first of all, welcome. How are you helping your clients pivot and put that playbook or that game plan in place to move into this next season?
So when I think of pivot, it takes me back into my childhood days when I used to play basketball.
Taking them down in the paint.
Yeah, taking them down in the paint, and I used to play basketball. And so I know when I had the possession of the ball, I had to plant one of my foot, right? And I only could pivot. Otherwise, if I allow that foot that was planted to move or shift, I would get called on as a foul. As traveling. So they'd be like, number 44 traveling again.
Number 44. Okay, we got that number.
Very important that, I remembered when I was in that situation that I had to pivot instead of losing my ground and turning over the ball to the other team. So when I think about this time in our society now where, things are so uncertain for everyone, and we have a lot of people that's dealing with stress and anxiety because they just don't know, where they're going to end up on the other side of this. And so that brought back memories too. The word pivot in this conference brought back the memory of when I had to take possession or take hold of what was mine. And at the time on the court, it was the basketball, right? But in my life, that ball represents my business. That ball represents my mental health. That ball represents my client's business and mental health and family, right? And so if you allow yourself to lose ground and allow that foot to shift, you could potentially end up losing those things. You can lose your business. You can even lose your mental state, right? There's some people who have lost their mental state through suicide and those things because they just weren't able to cope. You can lose your family. So I didn't want to allow that to happen for myself or my clients. So one of the things that I had them do is focus on what was their goals, right? Don't lose sight of your goal and don't lose sight of why that goal was important to you. And you may not be able to execute that goal the way you were going to originally execute. For example, speaking engagements, going out and finding speaking engagements at conferences, right? Some of them had plans to travel to business conferences to level up in different skills. I had plans to go
to
conferences, college campuses, book club tours. I had it all planned, And so now, how do I keep my ground and not lose it all? So pivoting, one of the things was, I may not be able to attend, and my clients may not be able to attend these events in person, but how do you embrace technology? Now is the time to embrace technology, and where you may not be able to be there in person, you can still be there through technologies like Zoom or,
hop in.
Yeah.
Learning
exactly. The technology that we're using for the Pivot Conference, right? And so conferences like I spoke for the Black Speakers Network through a Facebook Live, so embracing that. And I'll be presenting for the Pivot Conference. Thank you for the opportunity on Saturday and using a platform to be able to do it virtually versus in person. So you don't have to lose sight of what the initial goal was. Just being adaptable and flexible and thinking of a different way that the same goal can be accomplished.
Well, you took it back to being number 44 in Battle Creek, Michigan, with the ball in your hand. You're trapped in the wing. You've already picked that dribble up. And so, but your goal is, how do I make one or two moves so we can still score? And so what you just said to a business owner, I heard, is that you got to still focus on scoring.
That's
And
right.
sometimes you got to turn or pivot and then pass, move, and be ready to receive again.
Exactly, but don't give up that goal of getting that ball in the hole, in
In
the
the goal.
goal, right? Don't give up that goal, right? Keep that
Yeah.
focus on the goal and why, because that will drive you in times like this. Because it's easy to give up because there's always an excuse. Well, the COVID, I'm in the house, so I can't do X. I'm in the house, I can't do Y. Right. And if you were going to a conference to level up in skills, you can go to udemy.com and take a training for pennies, right? Not very much, $9.99. I think some of those courses are out there. Or you can go on LinkedIn and take free courses. LinkedIn has a feature where there's free courses. So don't give up on the goal. Just strategically think, how can I accomplish the same goal, just a different way?
What pivots do I need to make? So, we talk about, as you mentioned the Pivot Conference. I just want to let people know you can go over to the pivotconference.com, grab your tickets, and hey, if you inbox me and just say, hey, Howard, my pivot story is this, and I'll give you a pair of tickets to the conference, okay? Just inbox me and you get a pair of tickets to the conference.
Yeah.
But talk about the importance of having the right mindset in order to make that shift to continue forward as we come out of this, or as we go into this next norm. I don't call it the new norm. I think there's going to be a next norm and then a new norm.
Yeah, so the mindset, it takes me back to, I'm trying to remember her name, but she brought Carol Dweck.
Mm-hmm.
She talks about the growth mindset, having a growth mindset, right? So that you continue to think of different ways to accomplish your goals.
Yeah.
So the growth mindset versus the stuck mindset, right? The stuck mindset would say, well, the COVID has hit, life, has ended. I have to sit here and wait for things to happen to me. Where a growth mindset may say the COVID-19 hit, but I'm going to look for ways to make things happen for me. So that's the difference, waiting for something to happen to you, or getting up and getting out and making things happen for you.
Wow.
So that's the growth mindset. So I teach my clients to have a growth mindset in all that you do, not even during the COVID, in all that you do. Continue to think, how can I learn something different? Who can I connect with and build a relationship with and learn from them? Because who you surround yourself around, who you know is what you know, right? And so surrounding yourself around people who can help you to take that next step in your life, whether it's coaches. I've surrounded myself around many coaches. And I was reading the article and they said Oprah Winfrey, she's one of the most powerful women in the world, and she still has 5 coaches. So surround yourself around people who will constantly challenge you to do more, be more for yourself and for your family. So that mindset is truly important, not to allow yourself to get stuck in a rut thinking, woe as me. But how do you continue to keep that growth mindset on the next best thing? I know one of my friends asked me, are you getting bored over there by yourself? Are you feeling lonely? I'm like, I'm too busy. I don't even know I'm stuck in the house, because that's just how much work that I need to get accomplished, how many goals that I need to get accomplished. I'm accomplishing goals that have always been on my to-do list, but I hadn't had a chance to do them. Like, for example, launch my t-shirt, my Audacious Women t-shirt line. I was able to do that during the COVID. I just launched some masks, some Audacious Women masks. I did that during the COVID. So just accomplishing and still working on the goals that I had set for myself allows me to continue to keep my mind moving. And one of my clients, same thing for her, bored. She started to get complacent. And I was like, well, think of the skills that you have. Think of the things that you can do. And she's a seamstress. So she got out and started making masks, and I want to say she made something in the area of like $2,000 in about 3 weeks. It was crazy, and she's still making masks.
Right. I mean, it's
So
going to be a way of
fine.
life. Well, you know, and I know we got a tight window today on this conversation. Um, you brought up a great point, and so having that growth mindset also leads for you to look at things from an asset standpoint and
Yeah.
see what you had helped her do is shift from a deficit. Hold up, I'm laid off, I'm furloughed, I can't
Mhm.
go anywhere, whatever her situation was, to what assets do I have? In
Correct.
the past, I grew through some things, I developed some skill sets. Now, how can I apply those?
Exactly. Exactly. She's gotten a Facebook page up now. Like I said, she's sold now it's probably up to 3,000, in excess of $3,000, but has made that much in just a few weeks. So it's awesome. And now she has her own Facebook page, and she's going to start not only promoting the mask, but she's a seamstress. So she's those those wheels are turning. What else can
Well,
I
but
create?
see,
What else can I create? Right. And so when you accomplish one goal, that's what I love about taking those little micro steps. It gives you the confidence to do
yeah.
something greater, right? And so now it's like no stopping her. I didn't even know she had a Facebook page till she invited me on there. I was like, oh, well, look at there. So it's been amazing just watching the growth of my clients in this time.
Well, you know, and that's why we created the Pivot Conference. I mean, literally, and you may not know my full story, but I have a retail store, physical retail store that I, shut down for 6 to 7 weeks. And
Oh
so people
wow.
were saying, "Hey, man, are you just going to sell masks?" And I said, "Oh, we'll do a few things with that." But I had to, search, and I went to my coach, and we started talking about, okay, let's talk about your asset and the fact that you've been working remotely since 1991, since you got out of college. You've never been in an office, so your mindset is different.
Right.
And so being able to take that growth mindset, and the other thing I love about the growth mindset, and you brought that up, Karen, is that you can never fully go back to your old self.
Yes. Once you expand the mind, it never goes back
Back.
to its original form. So that's the beauty of mind expansion. Once you
Yeah.
expand your mind, it will never go back to that original state. So, and
So
then the
yeah, that is a.
confidence you gain along the way, the confidence that is built in you along the way, you become unstoppable for
And
sure.
then you're going to see things differently. So like your
Yeah.
client, now that she has her own business,
Mm-hmm.
in essence, and she has these tools, she looks at things through a different lens. And so that's another reason you should come to the Pivot Conference. When I look at the lineup, Karen, we got the likes of Jonathan Sprinkles,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Owens, Dr. Cheryl Woods, and
Amazing.
Teresa Martin. Those are just the keynoters. I
Yeah.
got down into the workrooms where folks like yourself going in and really helping people have that mindset shift, because that's the key to sales and marketing is
Yeah.
having that right mindset. And so I know it's a tight window because you're a busy woman, and hey, you got another you got to get to, and I'm going to be respectful of that. And just how do people connect with you? What's the best way for people to connect with you, Karen?
They can connect with me at www.quick6success.com. That's www.quick6, the number 6, success.com.
All right, so make sure you connect with Karen, and she's spelled Karyn. Okay,
Yeah,
drop the E and try to figure out why, because that's what she helps you do. And
that's
so,
right.
literally, she will help you do that.
And
Well,
she helps
Karen,
you do that quickly.
exactly. That's the second half. Because my whole I'm an acronym junkie, and that's the beautiful part about the Pivot Conference. I'm meeting so many people that I've not really met, because our team, different people coming in different ways. And
Yes,
so Y stands for what helps you, WHY. And so, like you said, during this
right.
time, you got to look to your why.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Look to
get
what
you through
helps
this.
you. I like that. I like that. I'm
And
write
so,
that down.
yeah, use it, utilize it, and it definitely help people. So, Karen, one last word to why people should attend the Pivot Conference before we close out here.
I think people should attend the conference because it's going to inspire them through the stories that will be shared. I'm sure they're going to hear stories that remind them of their own specific story and challenges that they may be going through, and how people have pushed through and still are continuing to move forward and make things happen for themselves. And so, come to the conference, the Pivot Conference, and you'll see how you'll be able to pivot in your own life. As long as you're living and as long as you're breathing, you can pivot and you can do powerful things for yourself and for your family.
Hey, you heard it from number 44 right there. Come to the Pivot Conference. Come on in and have some
Yes,
fun, number one. But you're going to learn from dynamic keynoters,
yes,
those PTTers, those presenters, trainers, and teachers. They're all packaged into one. And it's in a true workshop format. So whatever you need, you go and get. So
yes,
you don't have to sit through hours and hours of training. You got to say, hey, here's what I need. Here's who speak to me. I'm going over to this workshop. And then we got some one-to-one networking. Yes, see, that's what's going to get people. When you really get that one-to-one networking and be able to talk to new people and meet new people from around the world, all on one Saturday, guys, you'll be like, wow, okay. Hey, when's the next one? When the next one? But
right.
you need to come to this one first, and so we look forward to it. So, Karen, as we close, I want to thank you for
Thank you.
sharing with us.
Yes,
And just remember, when you're stuck in a situation like number 44 said, keep that foot set, you
yeah,
turn and look,
good.
new opportunity. As always, in
Right.
closing, I challenge you to be the best you possible because guess what? Second place, the view doesn't change.
That's
So, with that
right.
said, take care. God bless. And Karen, thanks a lot for coming on and sharing with
Thank
us.
you, Howard. Thanks for the opportunity. I look forward to the Pivot Conference.
All righty. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, it's a wrap.
All righty.
Now to save to my computer, and then I can send you the recording.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
just email
try
it
to
to me.
even I'll try to cut off some of the beginning
Okay.
again so that it's a clean version.
All right. We appreciate that. I'll let you get on to your 6:30. Tell
Yeah.
them I apologize and
Oh no, you're fine. You're
tell them
fine.
I see them at the Pivot Conference.
That's right. That's right. I will be promoting the Pivot Conference so that they can get their tickets.
All right, Karen.
All right.